Formation foreign to Jets fans. The victory formation.
He did it. In defiance of God, the devil, and New York Jets ownership, Adam Gase coached his team to a win, thanks to one of the biggest busts in recent memory, hitting a future first-ballot Hall of Famer over the middle for 7 yards. And this wasn't any ordinary win. The Jets managed to beat a real contender. And while this is embarrassing for the Rams, and they deserve the vicious ridicule they will receive, this is terrible for the New York Jets. They have lost their one hope of competing for the next 5 years. In the event that both the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets lose out, a very real possibility, the Jaguars will receive the first overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. And it's safe to say the Jaguars will select Trevor Lawrence, the next great quarterback prospect. In the vacuum that Lawrence leaves, the Jets will either be forced to settle for a far inferior Justin Fields or select the elite offensive tackle prospect in Penei Sewell and resign themselves to another year of at best mediocrity with Sam Darnold. And I'd feel bad for most teams, but this is the Jets we're talking about. This is a team which has Adam Gase 3 years after they should. So instead, I'm just going to point and laugh.
Adam Gase is the ultimate troll. He goes out there and wins just enough to not get the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. You have to feel kind of bad for Jets fans that are swinging at air right now. And this also demonstrates why tanking will never exist in the NFL the way it does in the NBA. You can't get 55 dudes to go out there and lose every game. They go out there to win even if they're complete garbage and there's no talent on the roster. Now, when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and the memes surrounding him and the people making fun of the Jets and thinking that it was the worst thing that could happen to Trevor Lawrence's career, I want them to rethink that a little bit. The Jets have a young stud left tackle. If he remains healthy, could develop into a future Hall of Famer. Denzel Mims has shown a lot of promise since being injured early in the year, and they have 4 first-round picks and a GM who seems to be somewhat competent for the Jets, something they haven't had in a long time. The Jets are also in New York City, and you will not fade into oblivion like you will in Jacksonville. Jacksonville roster is just as bad as the Jets, hence why they have one win. You really trust the Jags, who have a less 500 or better seasons than the Jets in the last 15 years, to turn it around with Lawrence. I think you're wrong. I think it's equal when it comes to both teams. The Jags have gotten rid of every piece that led them to an AFC championship a couple years ago, and outside of that one season, haven't been 500 or better since 2010. Jacksonville is just as bad for Lawrence, if not worse than the Jets. At the end of the day, for all our Jets fans out there, you could take solace in the fact that this quarterback class is loaded. Justin Fields is a consensus number 1 overall pick if he was in any other draft class. Hopefully the Jets don't pull a Giants and take someone like Daniel Jones as the 2nd overall pick, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, I'd be embarrassed if I were you, but you're talking to 25 people, so it's not that big a deal. Let's look at these teams for a second. The Jags have 6 one-score losses this year. The New York Jets have 3. The Jaguars have 4 top 50 picks in this year's draft. They have a far weaker division to play in. They have the weakest division in the AFC. They have a rookie running back who is over 1,000 yards in James Robinson, who looks like he could be the future. DJ Chark has shown he can be a real NFL receiver when not being thrown to by Mike Glennon. The Jaguars have better weapons. They have a better offensive line in general. They will have an easier schedule. They are a more attractive landing spot to coaches like Eric Bieniemy or Mike Kafka. The only position the Jets offense is better at is left tackle. And I'm pretty sure we can ask Trent Williams how he elevated his team's play while on the Washington Redskins with his elite blocking. The Jaguars are a far superior team and a far better landing spot for Trevor Lawrence. The idea that there is even a comparison is ridiculous. And you can just look at the passing numbers of Gardner Minshew, a guy who likes rolling out and is a fan of running. If he had not been hurt this year, he would have around 4,000 passing yards and 30 touchdowns by the end of the season. This is a system in which quarterbacks can succeed. Not just the coaching staff, not just the play calling, but the weapons they have around them. Their issue is the defense, in my opinion, and that can be fixed with draft picks. The Jaguars are a way better landing spot for Trevor Lawrence. And if you want to get right down to it, it's warm in Jacksonville.
I think New York City's being in that market is much more exciting than being in Jacksonville. I do not trust the Jags to turn around. They haven't proven they can win. They have one winning season since 2010, I mentioned. So, yeah, they have all those picks, but what are they going to do with it? And I get that. I mean, going to the Jets is bad, too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I think it's a little...
Yeah, you're saying these winning seasons, like the Jets have been rolling them back to back to back, and this is just not fair. The Jets have been terrible the past 5 years or so, ever since they got rid of Rex Ryan.
No, and I know know that. I think in general, both it's not exciting to go to either team. I just think it's a little less worse on the Jets side of things.
You're nuts. The Jaguars will have a winning season within the first 2 years of Lawrence getting there, and when Fields has 3 wins in 3 years, it's going to be a tough scene. But that has been our thoughts on the New York Jets ruining their tank, saying goodbye to Trevor Lawrence. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Is Jacksonville a better landing spot? Are the Jets secretly geniuses for avoiding Trevor Lawrence? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.